Imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4, you go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, relax, and now back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, you do that for 20 years, what do you have? Overall, the idea is a very simple one. And, the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest. To me, the mentality is a really simple one in the sense that the confidence comes from preparation. So when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before. When I prepare, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. Right? And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. And so what's one more time? It was hard, man, because the Achilles injury is the worst injury for an athlete. It's like the worst. It's like the kiss of death. And when I ruptured my Achilles, I knew what happened. I knew the severity of the injury, and I didn't know if I was going to come back from it.
Yeah, in the locker room, you were crying.
Yeah, I didn't, this is it. My career could be over right now. This injury was Mount Everest for me personally, because I knew what the long road was going to be. So, at that point, you have to make a decision. You have to make a choice. It's really hard, man, because it's such a tedious process. And what I found helpful is to not look at the top of the mountain, because the mountain is so damn daunting. It's like, right? So if you're saying, okay, I'm going to climb Mount Everest, you're at the bottom of the mountain and you look up and you're going, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest, right? But if you break it down into sections, and you just one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. So instead, I just choose to focus on one step at a time. And then by the time you realize you're at the top of the mountain again, and that's how I handle all my recoveries, is just focus on the next thing, focus on the next thing, focus on the next thing. And also, how time flies. Yeah. Time goes by really fast. So when you're sitting here in the moment dealing with the injury that's a 9-month injury, I can't do that. Yeah. But when 12 months go by, you're gonna wish you did, because it goes by like that. What I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go, emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion. A lot of times I've seen players, even myself, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in this situation, And it does nothing but grow, versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about this situation. Yeah, I am fearful about this situation. But what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course. You'll have the pressure on yourself to play, to capitulate to that fear. If you play with the sense of I want to win, then you have the fear of what happens if you don't. But if you find common ground in the middle, in the center, then it doesn't matter. You're unfazed by either, right? And that enables you to really just stay in the moment, stay connected to it, and not feel anything other than what's in front of you. So, I try to just be, because I think the greatest fear that we face is ourselves, actually. I think it's not anything that's external or anything that's superficial. I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have, and it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself? The day could be today that your career is over. Now what do you do? I said, I better get to work. Rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not gonna rest, I'm gonna keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll figure these things out as you go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time.
Have a dream, sacrifice for it, and never ever rest in the middle.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. I think that's what greatness is or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person, that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. It's not sit around and it's all happy-go-lucky type of thing. Your leader, your job is to get the best out of it. Got to deal with it. Face it, learn from it. It's exciting when you win, it's exciting when you lose, because the process should be exactly the same. But the hardest thing is to face that stuff. But what if today is the day that's it? Now what do you do?
What can I say? Mamba out.
When I was 4 or 5 years old, I either wanted to be Superman or I wanted to be a Formula One world champion. When my visor comes down, that's when my mind definitely switches to a different capacity and it's high octane. As an athlete, I'm always looking how I can be better. I'm going to be talking to you about mental preparation, how you can be laser focused and have more energy, how you can feel healthier, because the better you feel, the better you are at doing your job. You might already be successful, killing it in whatever you're doing, but I can help you be better. My mastery is not the ability to put the car on the limit. It's mastering my emotions and understanding how to live into my potential. People think it may look easy, but it's I tell you, man, it's far from it. And it's taken a long, long time for me to be as good as I am.
Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix.
This is way, way beyond our dreams, and I think it's so important for kids out there to hopefully see this and know that don't listen to anybody that tells you you can't achieve something. Dream the impossible and speak it into existence, and you've got to work for it, you've got to chase it, and you've got to never give up and never doubt yourself. There's going to be some sort of obstacles and road bumps, but that's okay. And I'm going to stumble at some stage, but that's okay. That's a part of the growth process. I welcome them. I'm more aware of how to navigate through those, how to overcome them quickly and learn from them.
It's hammer time.
Would never have thought that you could do something like that today, but I just kept pushing, I kept believing, and it happened. So I really manifested my dream today, so big thanks to God.